I don't think any of us need to be told that we should eat healthier. It's just, I think there's some moment in your life maybe where you have this epiphany that I really need to eat healthier right now, because maybe if you're like me, you get into your 30s and you get these weird little health things pop up, like maybe you don't quite, nothing serious, but just like, I wonder what that is. So the first thing, logically, the first line of defense is, okay, let's make sure I get in my veggies and fruits for the day. I'm thinking at least baseline, if nothing else, do that and see, if that helps a little bit. Maybe you just need some vitamins. So when I started to look into it, 3 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, how many of us actually every day sit down and do that? So I did a little research, and the easiest way that I figured out how to do it was a smoothie. And if you really start to look into smoothies, when, you can put like spinach and kale in a smoothie, but you can kind of still get that grittiness. So I started to look into it, and a high-powered blender was the answer. So I got a high-powered blender about 10 years ago, and I've been using it literally every day to make a smoothie with my 3 to 5 vegetables and fruits in it. And I don't ever claim to be like an expert on nutrition or anything, but one thing I am an expert on is smoothies. So every form, because I do it every day, like it's something I got into and just never got away from, because I have that baseline I know of fruits and veggies. So the cool thing about a high-powered blender is that you can sneak in things like cauliflower and broccoli and you don't even know. So like you can do this to yourself or you can do it to your kids, but it gets so silky smooth in there that you can just completely fool yourself. So that's one of the main things that I use, my #1 tool for clean eating that I can't live without. And then of course you guys know how much I love my Pampered Chef tools. Pampered Chef came out with their own high-powered blender, and of course I was just instantly in love, because this one isn't just a blender, it is one of the high-powered blenders. So basically, high-powered blender can do things that other things can't. So I actually, when I went through a pretty intense phase of cleaning up my diet, I actually made some little infographic PDFs of why I love the blender so much and little different tips. So I call it the #1 tool for clean eating that I can't live without. A lot of times I'll use this like 3 and 4 times a day. So the amount of power it's capable of, it peaks out at like 2 horsepower. So normal blenders don't do that. And that's what lets you get those silky smooth smoothies. And you can sneak so many veggies into your foods that you or your kids won't even realize. And this is one of the tools that I recommend the most for people who are concerned about ingredients and you want to make your own staples from scratch, but you don't necessarily want to spend hours doing it. So it has different settings, and it doesn't just blend, it actually can heat and cook foods too. So the different settings that I get really excited about that are presets, so you can just hit it and walk away. There's a smoothie setting, there's a grind setting, and that's the most powerful setting. That's the one that's going to let you do like your own nut butters even. And then there is actually an alternative milk setting. So the different rice milks, the nut milks, oat milks, you can make that yourself in here. You put in the water and the base ingredient, hit that setting, and then you do it with a straining bag, and you can have your own nut milks. And you guys probably know those can get pretty pricey at the store, so that's something really fun. And then the next setting is, there's actually a soup setting. So you can take the raw ingredients, say for like a butternut squash soup, and throw them in here, hit the soup setting, and in about maybe 35 minutes, you end up with this silky smooth, pureed gourmet soup that's completely pure ingredients that you just put in. And the next setting,
I like that.
Yeah, there's a heated puree setting. What's that?
Those are
just so delicious. And you're right. The only word to explain them is that silkiness.
It reminds me of like you get a first course in a gourmet French restaurant. It's like, it's a beautiful soup like that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know, you usually get them in those cartons. What is it, like a quart? And they're in like those cardboard cartons. But it's like that, but you can do that at home just really easily. And then another setting, there's a heated puree setting. So that's another way you can really up-level your cooking. You can make like a beet puree sauce or a sweet potato puree to drizzle over your meats. And you could do like a hidden veggie marinara where you have a marinara sauce, but you throw in like some zucchini, carrot, get in some added veggies in there. And then this is like an exclusive setting that's really incredible. You can make your own jams in here. So I don't know if you've ever tried making jam from scratch, but it can be pretty laborious. But with this cooking blender, you just add in the fruit and the pectin, hit start, and then it knows exactly when it's at that right temp not to scorch, and you throw in the sugar and it finishes it, and that's it. You just hit the button. And then where it really gets intelligent is there is a sauce setting. So you know how some of those really delicate sauces like the hollandaise sauce or like maybe a bechamel sauce where it's dairy and you have to be really careful not to scorch it. It's so smart, it knows you add in your base ingredients, it'll get it to a certain temperature, and then it'll tell you when to add, like say if you add an egg, it knows exactly how not to scorch it. So it's like, it's smart, and you can do all these really gourmet, beautiful sauces and look like a really gourmet chef, and it did all the work for you. You didn't even have to think. And then if you do have to do the non-dairy, this is something that I totally recommend. If you're trying to lean towards, or you're already doing a dairy-free vegetarian diet, you'll find a lot of recipes for like dairy-free vegan creams and cheese sauces that are made with raw cashews, and this will let you do that. You can actually make like a no cheese sauce that can actually fool people with raw cashews in here, and you wouldn't be able to do it without a high-powered blender. And be happy to know that you can satisfy your sweet tooth cravings with a nice cream where you take like frozen bananas and like different fruits, and it's kind of like a creamy ice cream. You can satisfy your little dessert craving. And then if you want to, you can use one of the heated settings to make this most delicious frothy hot cocoa where it does the heating and frothing for you. And if you want, you can use the alternative milks or the sugar-free chocolate, so still keeping in line with the clean eating. And then have you guys bought the hummus at the store in the little tubs? So you can make your own hummus in here really easy, and it's like this silky smooth beautiful texture. So how do you put it? It can be a little bit of a chore to start eating clean, but this is something that will make it so much easier for you. And I like to stick my neck out and say even fun. For time's sake, because it does take about 35 minutes for that soup setting, obviously it's all hands off. I did a couple of these ahead of time. So this one is that butternut squash soup that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I hope you guys can, yeah, it has like garlic, onion, just a tiniest little bit of cinnamon to give it kind of those warm spice flavors. But this is,
Did you say cinnamon?
just a tiniest bit, yeah, to give it like those warm, yeah.
I would have thought the nutmeg, but the cinnamon's the way to go.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good to know.
Nutmeg's not a bad idea either. And just a little side note, this is one of the insulated serving bowls, so if you make your soup in the blender, you can pour it into the insulated serving bowl and keep it warm for a couple hours. I did another setting ahead of time just so you guys didn't have to wait for the cycle. I did earlier today. Have you seen alternative nut butters like almond nut butter or different ones in the store? So you can actually, if you have
sunflower, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, if you have your own high-powered blender, there's a setting you can make your own nut butters. So I did this earlier today, and I wanted to do this fun custom combination where I used raw cashews, and obviously you buy all your nuts in bulk, like at Costco or Sam's, and Walmart even had a good bag of raw cashews. And then I did this fun blend of the super seeds, the flaxseed, chia seed, hemp seeds, which are all nutrition packed, and I added some of that in the nut butter. And then again with the nut butter, I added a little bit of cinnamon, and oh my gosh, I wish you guys could taste this. And if you could see, it went from those,
I wish I could taste it too.
yeah, it went from those raw gritty nuts to the silky smooth nut butter.
Oh, that's pretty.
And it's just that you can make that at home. I just think it's the coolest thing. Because those jars of the gourmet nut butters, I mean, I've seen like little jars for like $15. It's crazy.
Right.
So that is a couple of the powerhouse settings. And then just going back to every day, our smoothie, just to get in our baseline of our, you know, our bottom line 3 to 5 fruits and veggies. So check this out, you guys. If you can kind of see this blender pretty good, this is a glass pitcher. This is pretty heavy duty, and sometimes with those settings, this gets to be pretty hot. This gets up to like 212 boiling. So this is the main pitcher that it comes with, but there's an extra set you can get with it. It's called the smoothie adapter and cup. So there's this smoothie cup.
Oh,
This is the blade,
invert, spin, yeah.
and
That's kind of cool.
there's a different attachment you need to set on to make it fit. So it comes with that smoothie set. So let's put together, pretend this is in the morning, you're in a hurry, and you just need to get in your veggies and fruits really quick. Okay, so you always do have an order with smoothies. It's actually gonna be reversed in this case, because this is gonna get flipped upside down. So you guys, also just a little side note, when I made those fun PDFs, just because I was doing this so much, I actually made this little DIY smoothie formula. So smoothies, it's not necessarily about the ingredients so much, it's more about the order of your liquids, leafy greens, fruits, and frozen things. So this tells you exactly the ratios. It's really important to have the right ratios of like liquid to frozen. So I will send this to you guys. So for liquid, I always like to go to coconut milk. I feel like it's one of the most neutral, because I've heard things that I don't want to have too much almond milk because of the oxalates, and some other oat milk might have too much carbohydrates. I feel like coconut milk has been the safest all around. Another thing too, just that's handy, the smoothie attachment comes with this handy little guide that'll tell you how much as far as, in what order, as far as your liquids, veggies, frozen things. So I always love having those reference guides handy. So that's our liquid, and then let's go to a leafy green. I like kale just because I feel like it doesn't have, spinach has some of the issues. It does have high oxalates, and that's something I got a little paranoid and I want to stay away from. So kale.
Oh no, don't kill the spinach.
Yeah, I
spinach.
think a little is fine, and I'm sure like Dr. Christie's muted. She would know a lot more than.
I like the kale too, don't get me wrong, but I love spinach. I grow the crap out of it and I eat it.
And one thing, oh okay, one thing I noticed is you don't taste. Yeah, you don't taste the spinach as much as kale. You can actually kind of keep that a neutral flavor. And then let's go, this is optional. There's all kinds of different add-ins you could do. You could do your whatever protein powder is your favorite, or going back to that blend, we could add some of the hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds in here. We'll just add like a spoon of those. Just get in as many little nutrients as we can here. And then to get your nice creamy cold smoothie, I kind of kill two birds with one stone. Instead of ice, I just use frozen berries or cherries or blueberries or whatever you like. I was actually lucky, my husband grew all these blackberries and froze them for me, so I've had them all winter. So, okay, so pretend this is the morning, we're in a hurry. We just threw that all in there, and then you screw on this lid. That's like the blender. And then you flip it over. flip it in here. And this will take 1 minute. And we're going to dial the smoothie. It's a preset setting, so you can even get distracted if you have to go to the bathroom or something. And it runs, like I said, just 1 minute. All right, time's up.
And we back.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. We're making a smoothie.
So even if you were distracted, you could just come back to it, and then you just unscrew the lid. And check this out, you guys. Say I know we're all on the go and in a hurry a lot of times. So you take this lid off, and then it comes with a little, this is a cup. So it comes with a little cup lid. You just screw that on. It has a straw. So there you go. Like in the morning in a hurry, you can just put this in your cup holder in your vehicle. So there is your, Christy says, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
The other settings, like I said, I didn't want you guys to have to wait for the soup setting or the jam setting. They take about 35 minutes, but hopefully you guys got a chance to see, I did the little videos where I did the soup setting and the nut butters. So that'll give you an idea what happens. But I wanted to share with you guys, the blender, this is, I know the first time I bought a blender, it's a commitment. This is not like a cheap little fun thing. It's a $399 piece. When I bought my first high power blender, I was a lot hesitant. I was like, oh boy, that's a big commitment. But I'll tell you what, it was 10 years ago and I never once looked back. So if it's something you use every single day, it's gonna help you to eat better. But the other aspect of that is, if you did want to buy the blender, it's $399. You get so many extra bonuses right now. I had to write them all down. I couldn't even remember. So if you bought the blender, that would be considered an event where you would earn a 60% off item. Any item out of the Pampered Chef catalog at 60% off. So that could be huge in itself if you have your eye on something bigger. And then you would earn 2 half-price items. Like say you wanted to get the smoothie cup set with it, you could get that at half off. And then you would earn $40 in free credit for future use. 25 you could use right now, 15 you could use in the future. You would get a free veggie peeler, and you would get 10% off for a year. So this is just all, I know it's a lot, this is just all some food for thought. So I always like to hear from you guys. I'm sure you probably have questions about the blender. What was some of your favorite features or a question about it?
I was just going to say, Erica, I think that adapter for the smoothie is a game changer. Because one of the things, I was always a little reluctant to get the whole thing out and for just a drink that I'm going to take.
Yeah.
This saves dishes, it saves steps. I think that's a game changer.
Yeah, with the smoothie adapter, like you don't even have to get out this picture. You're just, it's just this little lightweight, you know, it can be a little bit overkill if you're just doing one drink, but not with this cup.
But what I like about this is that could do multiple things, and it's like compact enough, and it would do it all, where it could be like a camper tool.